Yes, student. Here I am to explain lesson number 10, 3 questions. Previous lecture I explained and provide you every details of the author. Here we are to read and going to explain each line of this lesson. So please be attentive. The thought came to certain king that he would never fail if he knew three things. Here in the beginning of this line, the story says there was a certain king who wanted to know something so that he would be never fail in his life. So what was those three things? Let's see. These three things were: what is the right time to begin something? Which people should he listen to? What is the most important thing for him to do? Here, that certain king wanted to know those three things, and they are here. First of all, he wanted to know the right time to begin something. That means he wanted to know the right time, so that he can start something good for his public in his kingdom. What was the next thing? That was which people should he listen to. Second category, second priority for him as a question, he wanted to attend the people, but to whom did he want to attend? Particularly, he wanted to know those people to whom he should listen to. And third, what is the most important thing for him to do? Finally, the third question that he wanted to know that what was the most important thing for him to do, so that once he does once he did that thing, and he would never repent for that doing work. That means all these three things he wanted to know, so that he would never fail as a king in his life. Is that clear? First paragraph? Okay. Let's move to second paragraph. The king therefore sent messengers throughout his kingdom, promising a large sum of money to anyone who would answer these questions. So, in this reference, the king had sent his messenger throughout his kingdom, as he wanted to know those three things, and in that reference, he wanted to know the answer of those three things, those three questions. For that, he wanted to know the answer. But how would it be possible without sending messenger to spread the question? That's why the king had sent his messenger throughout his kingdom, so that they would find the right people, right person who could answer very well. But in that case, in that reference, the king wanted to reward the right person who could answer all those three questions correctly. And that's why he offered a money to anyone who could answer these questions. Many wise came to the king, but they all answered his question differently. So, listening the idea of this question and the king's questions, all those wise men rushed to his kingdom to answer those questions. But mostly they failed to answer those questions correctly, and they answered different way. But the king himself was not satisfied with any kind of answer got from all those wise men. In reply to the first question, some said the king must prepare a timetable and then he follow it strictly. In this regard, the answer he got from the people all those some of people who they said that the king should make a timetable and then he should strictly follow this timetable. He should rule his kingdom according to the timetable that he made, so that it would be easy for him for ruling the kingdom. Only in this way they said he could do everything its proper time. And they elaborately explained that once the king made his timetable, he would do everything at a perfect time and perfect way, so that if he made timetable, he would strictly stick to that timetable, and keeping in mind he would do everything right way according to that timetable. Others said that it was impossible to decide in advance the right time for doing something. The other group of people told king that it would be almost difficult for any person to decide in advance what to do and what not to do. So they simply replied the question, king questions what to do the right thing. That means none can predict, none can decide in advance the right thing to do something. The king should notice all that was going on, avoid foolish pleasure, and always do whatever seemed necessary at that time. So they explain that for doing the right thing at a proper time, the king should notice all that was going on. I mean, the king should take notice all surroundings and do the right thing. He would have to think all around the things that happens surrounding him, and then he could do the right thing, otherwise not. Even he has to avoid foolish pleasures. That means he should not waste all his time and all his wealth for doing the unnecessary thing, considering like a foolish things for his foolish pleasure. He should avoid those kind of thing, avoiding his foolish pleasure. And so he should do whatever he seemed necessary at the time. That means he had to do the right thing, keeping in mind by the time what he wanted to do. If it was right, then he would do, otherwise not. That means he would have to keep in mind the necessary thing at that time. Yet others said that the king needed a council of wise men who would help him act at the proper time. The rest of the group of people told him to have a council with him to help him to act very properly. I mean, he can do right thing at right time if he had a council. What is your council? Council means a group of wise men. They always advise the leader to do the right thing, right time, right way. Thus, they advised him, the king, that he should have a council with him. This was because a man would find it impossible to decide correctly without help from others the right time for every action. Why people advise him to have a council with him? Because without consulting anybody, everybody surrounding him, his ministers and so wise men, the king himself cannot decide alone his way. That is why he actually needed a group of people as a council, so that those people would always help him act right way, right time, right people to listen and everything. So, with the help of the council people, he could do the things right way he wanted to do at a proper way. Thus, all those different people came to him and told him to follow the way in different manner. Few of them told them to prepare a timetable. Others told him to have a timetable, and he has to stick to that timetable. The others said that he would have a council of a wise man who could help him act at the proper time. Thus, those people who came to king answered his question. Still, the king was not satisfied with those answers, and he still wanted to consult, he still wanted to seek the right advice of the right people. That's why he wanted to find the right person in his way. Let's see what happened on next page.